Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's the FIVB World League final live from Matosinhos in Portugal. Well, hello there and welcome to Porto, where we have a fascinating contest coming your way. It's Turkey up against the favourites for this Group 2 title, Canada, in what has been an eagerly anticipated game. We've got Canada, who are building for Rio in just under a month's time. They've already said that this game isn't their priority, the World League. Turkey, on the other hand, this is the competition that they have been building for, the performance that they are wanting to show on the world stage. It's the first ever head-to-head meeting in a major tournament between these two sides. There's the Canadian head coach, Glenn Hogue, turning into a legend of the game within this country. Once a player, now the head coach. And Turkey, as we can see their bench, having won 8 of the last 9 in their World League qualifying campaign. Fancied here by many to maybe cause a little bit of an upset. Last year, Turkey could only manage a 5th in the World League. But they're in strong form, beating the Netherlands in Cairo 3-0, another Final Four team. So Canada ready to take their step onto the court. Canada have been building, they have been changing their team. Their selection for the Rio Olympics comes next week. The Canadian squad have been testing out many different variations. There is the Turkey lineup. We're expecting to see their strongest side today, that is for sure. Number 1 in your picture is TJ Sanders, the setter from Canada, who has been ever present, one of the only players that has been ever present in this World League campaign. As we stand for the national anthems. Canada have arrived in Porto. They've won 8 out of 9 in the qualifications, but will they book their place in tomorrow's gold medal match? Turkey, another team in fine form, are looking to cause a slight stir and an upset here in Porto this afternoon. We're expecting to see a similar 6 to last week, although Turkey did beat Slovakia 3-2. They did field some young blood and some new talent, but expect to see the likes of Gökhan Gökoç, Burak Gonkor, Serhat Coşkun and Metin Toy. Certain starters for Turkey as we meet the officials for this final 4 matchup. Canada look ready to go, but Turkey will be announced first onto the main stage. As Canada, sorry, our mistake with the pictures. Canada are the first team out. They have a choice of liberos. Lewis, who started the previous game. Blair Cameron Ban in on this occasion. 4 is Nicholas Hogue, the coach's son. Duff is another one who starts, Justin Duff, wearing number 6, but we've missed the pictures unfortunately for that one. And Turkey have made their way out. The captain, Ules Kaykan, Gökhan Gökoç, Burak Gonkor, as we can see the squad appear on your screen. Turkey are certainly here to win. Their main goal of the year is to win this main event here in the World League. They're the bottom seeds, but after a strong qualification tournament, they are here to compete. Head coach Zanini, just in your picture, the Italian, was 4 years a Slovakian head coach. Canada, the setter Sander, Winters the captain, and Marshall, number 22, is back in the squad after missing last week after being rested. Glenn Hogue, the head coach, retiring after this season. He's had a phenomenal career. Won the Triple Crown as the head coach of Paris Volley in 2001. And this team qualified in Japan in the Olympic qualifiers after finishing 4th. Almost ready to go. Turkey will start proceedings off. Who will fancy they'll need a good start. They'll need to serve well, put the opposition receive under some pressure. They really will start near enough all of these players playing their club volleyball also in Turkey. Have some experience. Kayak, Yusuf Budak playing in a Champions League final in 2014. Nice start from Canada, feed the opposite. First point goes to Canada, and Perrin with a block out. Big physical start from Canada. Sander, the man setting up the plays. Watch out for Toy, the Turkish opposite. He's been one of the leading scorers thus far for this Turkish team. Ban reads that exceptionally well, the libero. Very nice work from Turkey as well. But that is sloppy. Chance for Canada. But there's been a net touch against that man Perrin, I think, as well. Nice start this from Canada. They get the middle in very, very early. It's going to send a message to the Turkish middleman. Going to have to stay with their opposing middle blocker if the pass is good, and they are insistent. Having spoken to Canada early on, their aims for this game was to try and stay in system, pass well, and do the simple things right. Very calm customer, isn't he? Coach Hogue. Some start this for Canada. Previous point, they give the ball the middle. Third time of siding out. The pass is again very, very strong from Canada. The middleman takes the block, and on the second tempo, the pipe scores the point. Graham, free grass. The server. Better that for Turkey when the pass is in. It's a fast play to the pin. Nicholas Hogue, the wing spiker. A member of the Canadian Professional Development Centre. They run things slightly different in Canada. If you don't go to college and go through the collegiate system, you can stay and train with the national team through the summer months. Problems in the past for Turkey. It's been a very strong start this for Canada. Bullying from the baseline. Rudy Verhoff. He's played some middle this year, but also as a backup opposite too. Defense from Sanders, excellent chance to convert another defensive play. Luckily, Turkey are back in system, the libero. Fantastic set to keep Turkey in control, but Canada look favourites here to win this one. Some persistence in defence is very, very strong for Canada. Oh, but two in the block brings big celebrations. Maybe that might kickstart this Turkish side. Hogue rolls his eyes. A little bit of frustration. High early. Manages to get his body facing back into the centre of the court. And finishes his hands very well. Touch off the block. Canada's 5th straight appearance in the World League. Very dominant in Norseka. Turkey, a team looking for what would be one of their biggest results. A joint 5th in the World League 2015. It was a good result for Turkey, but they're looking to get better and better throughout here. Some setting from Kayak. The ball, very difficult for a setter. Always come across his body, then flip it back on the 10 attack. Metin Toy, the opposite, does the rest from the back court. A little bit to go until the technical timeout. It's a very quick tempo to the outside from Canada as well. John Perrin makes his 3rd point of this game as we do go to the technical timeout, and it is Canada slightly in charge. Both teams won't be too disappointed with the way that this game has started. Good work from the middleman, Graham Vigras. These Canadian players have got a task on their hands today. Not only are they playing for gold, but they're also competing for a place at Rio 2016. Zanini. So just talking to his father, just in the background. A volleyballing family, the Hogues. His older brother, also part of the Canadian setup as well. Zanini, well, he's been through the ranks with Italy, Slovakia, and now Turkey as a coach. He's starting to make an imprint. Service pressure is strong, but the pass is also very good from Turkey. And when the pass is that good, Kayak can really utilise all of his options. It's good pace on the serve, but too comfortable for Turkey in the service reception. This time deflects off the block and out of play for another Canadian point. Be interesting to see how Perrin can step up here. Obviously Canada are missing Gavin Schmidt. Given a chance for the rest of the players to stand up to be counted, and that's a huge, huge kill block. Without Schmidt, the setter has to utilise all of their options. They miss also Schmidt in the block. But Graham Vigras plays his volleyball for Arcas, which is also the club team of the head coach of Canada. Good reactions from the libero Ban. Second time though, Turkey are too strong through that middle area. A nod, a seal of approval from the coach. Ban does his job and goes back to service receive. Reactions phenomenal, still waiting. Pops the right hand up and keeps the ball alive. Goodness from Turkey. Service pressure is going to be key for them today. Can they push, can they press this Canadian outfit? As we said, the underdogs for this one. Burek Gunkor with the serve as well. It's top scorer so far in the World League. This time, the ball can only find the net. Gunkor with 110 points up until today. Very much being the leader of this Turkey side. A little bit of magic from Kayak. The ball's a little bit too tight to the net, but Kayak's right hand is very strong and he manages to flip the ball to Toy. It's been impressive, Toy, early on. More middle work from Canada, but it's stopped from Turkey. Have a chance to go even here. Second chance. Utilise the ball out to the wing spiker, and that's very good. It's a very, very sharp angle. Hogue is in a good position, but it's too steep, too hard for the Canadian defence. We're back at 11s here, and after what was a very slow start for Turkey, they've started to come good. Gunkor with the defence. For the first time, Turkey are starting to ask serious questions of this Canadian side. No middle this time. Hogue on the outside is stopped again. Chance for 3 in a row for Turkey, but 2 in the block for Canada. State a little bit of authority from them. Cock goes out, the libero comes straight back in. Verhoff finishes and clamps very well for Canada. It's really a chance for Canada to finalise and evaluate their squad for Rio starting in under 4 weeks' time. As good as the blocking was from Verhoff, the backup serve is not up to scratch. It's a funny balance, isn't it, within this game? Risk against reward. A game that's becoming more and more physical. Service pressure is so key. Turkey scrambling away. It's a little bit scrappy, so Canada have another chance. That's a fantastic set from Sander. But Turkey match up in defense well. Unfortunately, the hit goes long, no touch. Canada waving their hands around. Frustration for Zanini. It's like a game of chess, this team's figuring out. Field goal. And he finds the gap, the southpaw Kayak. Two missed serves in a row for Canada. Again, both teams really trying to affect the other side's rhythm, trying to put them under pressure early on. The case to try and make defensive plays. That's 4 missed serves in a row. Justin Duff, the middle blocker, makes his way off. Cameron Ban comes back in. Ban, the libero, situated at position 1. Tight, should be a point, a gift from Canada to Turkey. And this game has just got a little bit scrappy. 3 or 4 missed serves in a row, followed by an overpass from Hogue. Turkey take the lead for what I make the first time in this first set. It's better from Canada. Perrin on the opposite does his job, and Canada do score. The serving will be a slight worry early on for Canada, though. 3 in a row is certainly not good enough, but if you're looking at the positives, Turkey also haven't had a chance to gain any rhythm in their side-out play either. Here's a good chance, though. They are well in system here, and that's huge from Guncourt. Second technical timeout, and that's flown by. Turkey lead by 1, 16-15. And this from Guncourt, doing a little bit of DIY at the net. Middleman from Canada, Vigras. Goes early in the block, 1-on-1 on the outside, and that'll be the aim of both of these teams. If the pass is good, the chances of leaving your hitters 1-on-1 on the outside obviously increase.
Communication if you need high ball or fast ball. Simple, standard. Okay, this goes his big chance. Okay, guys. Right, very good, very good.
Zanini talking about communication and almost calling the play early. If the setter's in system and the pass is good, Turkey are going to want to play a little bit faster. Potentially, the more pressure the setter's under, they might want to run that ball a little bit higher and a little bit slower to take the pressure off the setter and the attacker. The teams make their way back onto court. It's that man, isn't it, Guncourt, who started effectively, not only from the service line, he's been very effective as a wing spiker as well. Kind of feed the middle yet again, but Kayak is waiting for it. Some rally put away from Perrin. Kayak again oozing class, oozing flair early on in that rally. 3 in the block. Worked well for Canada. As well there, Perrin takes a step. Blocks the cross-court spike. More poor passing from Turkey. Gives easy points for Canada. Goes crushing into the net, but Canada get lucky. A well-in system, though, Turkey, and they take the point through the pipe. Zanini with a fist-clenching celebration. He's happy. They can move off of that rotation. Turkey won't be happy when Perrin is at the service line. We saw last week in the Group 3 finals the importance of service pressure and keeping your opposition under pressure. Guncourt brings frustration to Zanini now as Turkey have just lost their strongest server of the rotation. We approach the business time of this first set. Both teams are trading blows. That's a lift called against Kayak. No complaints from the setter. Lifters. Cool, but also a timeout from Zanini. Not a bad call. You'll see coaches call the timeout after 2 or 3 points in a row. Assistant coach Vincent Shetty, and they're doing most of the talking so far. The assistant coach based in Canada, where head coach Hogue is based in Turkey for most of the season, coaching club volleyball.
When 18's passing, Rudy's taking line and pressing, we just got to be on the outside of that block. Somebody has to...
Kind of talking more about the block defense, how they're lining up to each individual spiker. Guncourt, the man in your picture. You can see why he's Turkey's main man. Shone in every area, spiking, blocking, and serving. It's not been enough to keep Turkey in control here. Canada do lead by 2. With Vigras to serve. It's a jump float, fast, pacey, moving ball. Perrin hitting from out of town. It's a little bit rash from Kayak in defense, but Canada have a second chance. Perrin reloads, but this time poor hand contact. I think Canada were looking for a touch early on, but no chance of that one being given. We're back to 1. Mustafa Koch to serve. Ho comes back to the front court and does so with some effect. And Sanders starting well, distributing the ball, keeping the middle involved, but also using the opposite and the outside spikers. We've seen the pipe be utilised as well from Canada early on. That's a huge, huge play. (2019). Guncourt is getting a large majority of sets here. Middleman well and truly taken. Duff went very early in the block, saw high early coming, committed to his opposing middle player, and it left Guncourt free to fly through the backcourt position. Service pressure is strong again from Turkey. Out of system, Hogue on the outside. Manages to put the ball away. He's been uncompromising so far in this one. Hogue. Sander just misses out. Substitution. Winters coming in for Nicholas Hogue. It's a like-for-like substitution. And there's a timeout also called. Three in the pass for Canada. As per usual, Duff just loitering the other side of the 3-metre line. Bam was the target, it's a good pass. Not good enough to get the middle in. Perrin can't do any damage from 4. Gungor, though, can put the ball away. We're tied here at 21 all. An intriguing time, another time at this time, again from Canada. Failure to side out has put this Canadian team under a little bit of pressure. Turkey have always just been behind throughout this first set. Being led from Zanini, intensity in the team. Sanders, the setter, currently on the front court. He's got his opposite Perrin, and this is an issue. Gonna have his middle player, his wing spiker, and then he has to rely on the back court to do most of the other attacking. It is Duff through the middle, but that's another attempt missed from Canada. Two substitutions. Marshall, making his comeback after being rested last week, comes in. As does number 1, Lankin out. Anything to slow the game down here for Canada. They're lacking rhythm. Gokoc with the serve. Substitution does work. We're going to see the libero go off. Middleman, Big Grass comes back in. Really need to find an ace or a block here. It's a short serve towards position 2. It's good. There's no middle attack this time for Canada. 2 on the outside in the block. But yet again, Burak Gungor puts the ball away. It's good setting from Kayak, finding his wing spiker for a ball that was quite low. Again, Turkey's defense, very hard to beat. The block, a little bit easier. Winters going off Kayak to score. It's a long way off the net, Kayak, in his starting position. Set point for Turkey. Yesil Bodak, the libero, has really used his get-out-of-jail-free card here, jolting at the pass. But Gungor, again, we've seen power from him. Now we just see him slow the pace of the arm down, go off the block and bring up set point for Turkey. It's been a scrappy opening set, but Turkey have really hung in there. There's more substitutions from Canada. Again, a time delay tactic from the head coach. Verhoff comes back in. Marshall is back out. You can see Sander, the setter, who's at position 1. Turkey serving for the first set. More missed serve. So we are going to overtime in the first set here in the World League Final 4. Who can handle their nerve under pressure? Perrin will go for his jump serve again, going for power from the baseline. They need to cause some problems. There's an ace at a big, big time for Perrin and Canada. Role reversal, time for Canada to have their first go at winning the first set. The libero under all sorts of pressure here this afternoon. Zanini has to take his second timeout. Both teams out of timeouts, running out of options, also running out of time in this first set. Hassan Yesil Bodak, the libero for Turkey, is a target from the Canadian baseline, and he's struggling. It's a lonely place for a libero when you're not passing well. John Perrin has just stepped up when his team needed him the most. Remember, Canada saved set points. Now Perrin is serving to take the first set. Takes a pace off the ball. Block for Canada, seals it. Winters, the substitute, sends down all sorts of pain on Turkey. They'll feel a little bit robbed here. But that man Perrin came up with the goods under pressure. Winter, he's high and he's hanging in the air. It's a very good finish from the wing spiker. Change of ends. As we said, a scrappy first set that goes the way of Canada in overtime. Canada have won 5 of their games in this World League, 3-0. Only Italy and France have won as many games with a 3-0 scoreline. No teams really building much from the service line, but Perrin under pressure was exceptional, as we see some highlights from a game that is still getting going here in Porto. So Canada take the advantage as we look at some statistics from a set that we're still getting into. More attacks from Turkey. More Canada, slightly more physical. You can join the conversation at FIVB Volleyball. What do you think? Which way is this one going to go? Canada, a team building for the Olympics, still really experimenting systems, teams, players. Well, Turkey, this is their final. This is what they've been building towards. Coach Hogue really showing his experience, delaying time within that first set, using all of his timeouts, using multiple substitutions to try and slow the game down for his opposition. Zanini knows his trump card is the man on the outside. Can Burak Gunkor fire for Turkey? It's difficult when the pass isn't in from the Turkish. Gives a chance for multiple blockers to line up on the big man, but this one is still to get going. This one is only going to grow. Teams come back out. We see a start again for Vigras. Sanders is the setter. Perrin again is in, the top point scorer. Janssen Van Dorn is in as well. Nicholas Hogue is back in after being substituted in the previous set. And Verhoff is in as well for Turkey. Kayak the setter. That man, Burak Gunkor again. High early, the middleman, who's very effective in that first set. Josh Khan also gets a start. Metin Toy is the opposite man. No surprises to see that Gunkor and Perrin were the top scorers for their teams throughout that opening set as well. Turkish pass starts as it ended. They're well out of system, but there's no problem as they do find their side out through that man, Burak Gunkor. Sander just tooled in the block. The unorthodox serve of Kayak. It's good again, and Turkey find a defense. There's a chance to transition here through Toy, but 3 in the block this time for Canada. Just shows again where they're dominating proceedings here. Vigras the man who does claim the block, but it's a 3-man job in there. With Verhoff and Perrin. No gaps in there for Metin Toy to fire through. Nice fast offense from Turkey using the middle option off the block. Gunkor is serving more bombs from the baseline. Maybe a slight let-off for Turkey.
Don't worry yourself.
Rudy Verhoff. Vigras. On the front court, Perrin to service, more service pressure, just like the first set from the wingman for Canada. Sanders tries to get the middle in transition, but the link between himself and Vigras is just a little bit off. But always travelling across. Good work, though, from Koch in the block. This one slightly more fiery already than the first set. Easy stuff for Canada. Well in system, that's a very nice play. Although the connection was under pressure in the previous play between Sanders and Vigras, this time the reverse ball was executed delightfully well. Pazar doing some damage through the 10 attack. There's just an issue here. of Sanders. He was on the floor for just a little while after that point. He seems to be okay. He's shaking it off. Looks like it could be a leg problem, maybe an ankle or a knee issue. Looks like he's okay. Go back to play, and maybe the delay in play affected the focus of Metin Toy. That one's still travelling. Sanders comes back to the front court for Canada, so only 2 front court attacking options for the Canadian side. That's a very quick play, doing its job very well. I think they realise there's a little bit of a blocking mismatch against the Canadian setter. Kayak feeds Kadir. Sin on the outside. Sander disguises that one very well. Rudy Verhoff, the opposite man, doing the rest. When the setter feeds you this well, one-on-one on the outside. Verhoff against Gunkor. There's only going to be one winner there. That one almost tears the net down from Canada. Bam, with a miraculous recovery as well. What a point this will be if Canada can take it from Turkey. Canada managed to get 3 in the block once again, so it's a second chance for Perrin on the outside. It's off the chest of the libero. There's Bodak. As impressive as that is, he can't keep the ball alive. Hungry here, the Canadian blockers. Trying every occasion to try and get 3 on the Turkish attack. Double touch called against Kayak. Kayak not very happy with the referee's decision here. He's going to go and question. This referee suggesting that there's a double contact when the ball is released from Kayak's hands. Kayak trying to plead his innocence, but he can plead as much as he likes. He's not going to get much love back for that one. It's just a slight pause. Gunkor does kill the ball for Turkey, but there's a touch off of Sanders' block. 1 point to the technical timeout. And this game has started to heat up a little bit in Porto. Both teams finding their way. That's some set from Kayak. Deceived. Janssen Van Doorn in the middle. So tight. It's just the right hand of Kayak. It's twice we've seen that already. John Perrin destructs another one down the line. Technical timeout. It's exactly the same as the first. Canada have started the brightest. But there's not much between these two teams. Been a resilient start this from Canada, hasn't it? Found themselves under pressure in the first set point down, but with John Perrin in this kind of form, he's been pretty unsentimental thus far. And Canada, in not the prettiest of fashions, are almost dragging themselves through this one. We're ready to go again. Sanders on the front court with Vigras and Perrin as well. How's that one? Verhoff getting caught with the ball in the chicken wing position. Gunkel having to hit that one southpaw with his left hand, the ball travelling too fast, too quick across his body. Huge from Hogue. Nicholas Hogue has come running through there on the second tempo. Connected very well with Sanders. Verhoff takes the middleman, free net. Easy stuff for Canada. Very nice work from Tyler Sanders to connect with his pipe attack. Throw down the line, touch off the block. Oh, the line judge gives a touch off the block, but the referee signals that we're going to have a little bit of a better look. As a net touch against Mehmet Toy. That's why the point goes to Canada. Some pipe action from Turkey. Second chance, they try and get the middle in transition. Kassin is a little bit early underneath that one. Graham Vigras staying very active, focused at the net, watching the hitter. Good work from Canada this, outscoring Turkey in the blocking stats early on in this game. 3-point game, and, well, coach Manuel Zanini has to try and halt the progress of his opposition. One-way traffic throughout this mid-stage of the second set. There's a very happy coach in your picture. Sanders starting to run the game for Canada. Potentially a very strong time of the second set for Canada coming up. More joy in the block. Turkey cannot find an answer. Rudy Verhoff signaling to his defense, but actually the finishing position, the hip, the hand, all closing and finishing, looking into the center of the court. A little bit of a wink to his coach. A happy change for Turkey. Look at that for a run of points. 4 out of 5 have gone Canada's way. Service pressure from Sanders. He's really taken hold of this game, the Canadian setter. There's another ace. Maybe not. We're going to have a little bit of a better look at this through the replay. Oh, I think he can feel a little bit unlucky there, Sanders. Referee saying that the ball went the wrong side of the sideline, but the replay showing the ball just dipping in. A little bit of luck for Turkey, and they need it. They need to try and ask some questions of Canada here. Sanders goes back to the outside. It's that man again, the opposite. Not only have we seen Verhoff dominating in the block, but now he goes through that ball, the body going right the way through it. Turkey feeding a lot of balls to the outside here. Hassan Özbodak, Ribery. 2 bits of delightful defense from Turkey, but unfortunately they can't keep the ball in play. Canada just keep their foot on the accelerator here. There's no stopping them through this second set. They're applying pressure in all areas of the game, whether it's in the serve, in the block. Or in their side-out play. And the problem for Turkey is they struggled with Tyler Sanders' service pressure, but now they have to deal with John Perrins as well. It's a high toss, he goes through it. Turkey do manage to get the ball inside the 3-metre line. They do manage to side out. They're going to be very happy. Frustration for Sanders as they can't keep the ball in the air in defence. Don't quite finish the pass. The angle's a little bit too much on the diagonal, but it's on the net, and it means that Kayak can do something. He links well with the opposite, and they put the ball away. Passing is very good from Canada. It means that Hogue can keep this 5-point lead. Again, if the ball is in that area, 2.5, position 3, at that height and that speed, Canada will find themselves in positions to score at the net. Poor contact in the setting from Kayak. They really are under pressure here, Turkey. Hogue again, we've seen power, but now we see placement with the tip, but it's Doug. Chance in transition. Both teams tipping away here. Someone needs to kill the ball. Fortunately, Perrin is in just a little bit too early and the ball goes out the back of the court. Both teams still in defence, watching the spiker's arm, anticipating the hard hit, but watching for the tip as well. Sanders and Verhoff team up again. There's a net touch called against Gokoc. Gunkor is still arguing with the referee. There's 2 Turkey players still on court here arguing. Manuel Zanini just watching. They can't get too desperate here, Turkey. They definitely can't control the referee's decisions. Getting very vocal in the timeout, Turkey, trying to bring some enthusiasm, some motivation. There's a much calmer bench. Team much more in control of this one, Canada. We said they're applying pressure in every context of this one. Gunkor in your picture. Really did influence the opening set. Turkey's highest point scorer of this World League campaign has struggled throughout the second set, and Canada have run away with it much because of this man, Rudy Verhoff. Ulas Kayak is extremely pleased with himself for finding the middle from 3 or 4 meters off the net. Gökhan Gokoc, the man previously called for a net touch before the technical timeout, has a chance to get his own back. It is a crushing serve, but Canada side out with ease. No matter what Turkey throw at Canada at the moment, they have an answer. They had service pressure here. Yes, it was a little bit too close to the passer, but Perrin screams through the pipe to put the ball away. Gunkor does find the floor. It's taken him a while. He struggled to impose himself on this set as he had the first. Sanders position 3, the Canadian setter. No surprise that he uses Perrin again. He's really his go-to man. Canada missing Gavin Schmidt. He's rested. Still coming back from injury. Canada's main danger man for the 2016 Olympics. But they are coping just fine without him. 3 in the block once again for Canada, and the cover's good from Turkey, so they earn another chance. Again, good cover. There's the replay. Is that a lift called against Kayak? There's more. Turkey are really getting frustrated here with the decisions going against them. It's called for a double touch there. Kayak suggesting the ball was settled in his hands a little bit too long, and Gunkor, the captain, is still arguing the toss here, still arguing the decision. He feels his setter has been unfairly treated here in Porto.
Next time, open for
Perrin flying on the outside. Verhoff on form on the opposite position. The Turkish hopes are slipping away from them here in the second set. Turkish hitters always finding 3 in the block against them. There's a card here against Gunkor, and this is really a fascinating stage. Turkey either have to quieten down here and focus on themselves instead of the refereeing decisions, or they can get themselves into an argument with the referee, in which case they're probably only going to lose. Canada, though, are well on top, and they are certainly winning. They're 6 points up in this one. Gunkor this time goes with the left again. Hits with both. Some way to affect the opposition's line in the block is to hit with your opposite hand. Perrin has 2 against him. Good reactions from the wing spiker, and that's a very quick arm from the number 2. Turkey battling again. Their cover's good. That's 3 or 4 times we've seen them pick the ball up after they've been blocked. Chance for Hogan the opposite, well seen by the Turkish blocker. Second chance for Perrin to put the ball away. One of the biggest rallies of the game so far, this one. Scurrying everywhere. There's a touch off the block, and the point goes to Canada. They're fighting hard here, Turkey, going for everything in defense, but with no substance at the net. They're always going to be second best. Perrin is getting fed a lot of sets here. Showing how resourceful he is. No danger really for Canada. They're still 5 points up. Sanders' good serving earlier on in the set really did set the tone for Canada pulling away. Perrin showing how effective he is hitting from the right side as he is from the left. Middleman Koch just a little bit too late in the block. Perrin taking full advantage of that. Turkey through Metin Toy have a rare moment of joy. Defending quite high there, Perrin at position 6 in defence. Not for the first time we've seen Canada deal with service pressure from Turkey. The pass has been so good from Cameron Ban. It's allowing Sanders to do whatever he wants with the offense. He's very much the orchestrator of this side, Tyler Sanders, known as TJ. As Sanders setting again, he does go back to Verhoff, and Verhoff does the rest. As we were saying earlier, the setter, Sanders, known as TJ, didn't go through the collegiate system. Didn't play any university volleyball. He went through the development structure of Volleyball Canada. Similar to this Turkey side, it's a young Turkish side here. It's 3 in the block again for Canada, bring up set point. Really has been a dominant display. They're used to winning 3-0 in this World League this year, Canada. Remember, 5 of their 8 victories have come in 3 sets. They are looking to do the same again. This time Toy takes the pace out the ball and goes for placement and saves the first set point, but they have a long way to go. They need aces, they need blocks, and on a miss serve, Canada go 2-0 in front. Frustration for Turkey. They've argued with the referee. They've struggled throughout large periods of this first semi-final of the Final Four. After a very close first set where Turkey had a set point, Canada have really charged throughout the opening 2 sets. They lead 2-0, 26-24, 25-17. We see some highlights from what has already been described as one-way traffic. This team are heading to the Olympics, and they are looking to go there in some form. It's a young Turkish side that are struggling against a growing Canadian outfit. 8 points difference in that second set. More attacks, more Turkish errors. Again, Canada are making copious amounts of blocks out here in Porto this afternoon. Some of it's because of poor passing from Turkey, which is allowing 3 blockers to get up and put pressure on the Turkish spikers. There'll be a happy camp though, Canada. Glenn Hogue, his aim is to replicate the glory of his team, who managed to 4th at the Olympic Games in LA. He's building an uncompromising side. Manuel Zanini will be feeling the pressure in here. Mehmet Toy, in your picture, hasn't managed to get fully involved in this game yet. It's a bit of a pause. This Turkish team, well, they're a product of a fascinating talent ID project. As we see Perrin and co go to town on Turkey once again. out at 4, at 2, or through the pipe. He has scored from every location, that man. Can you picture John Perrin? Turkey, the first team back, and really you can see it's a team, it's their last throw of a dice. If they don't manage to up their game now, they will not be playing for gold and promotion here tomorrow. They'll be playing for bronze. The Turkish team, many of whom come through a very successful talent ID project that led them to a runners-up in the Under-23 World Championships. Kokoj, Gunkor, Ganesh, who we haven't seen much of so far, and Yeni Pazar, all products of that talent identification project. One that has really worked for Turkey, but not today. Perrin, again, he's closed out. Is that a lift maybe called? Definitely is a lift. Called against Figueras. A little bit of pinball played. A few deflections off of multiple players. Turkey need to apply pressure here early on in this set. Otherwise, their hopes have vanished in this World League. In the highlight reel, we saw pace and power from Perrin. Now we see him just use the tip and go off the side of the block. Nice work from the foreman. Serving the front court receiver again in Gunkor, who's staying at position 2, possibly to block that man. Perrin again is on fire this afternoon. Sander stays up high on the tip. Libero comes in and sets and celebrates as well. Libero's love getting involved in the game in every area that they can. Canadian side, who in the first set really did struggle for consistency from the baseline. It's always improving as this game goes on. They're a little bit out of system here though, so this should be a Turkish point. And it is through Joshkin. Turkish front line of Koch, Joshkin and Gokosh. Doesn't matter, as there won't be any block this time for Turkey. More frustration for Zanini, who looks like he's taking this performance pretty personally at the moment. Perrin's turn to serve. No luck this time, so he'll go back to pass, and next to him you have Cameron Ban, who hasn't really put a foot wrong. It's almost, the more service pressure he's been faced with, the better he's passed so far. He's next to Hogue, he's in the middle of the service-receive unit. Hogue passes very straight, he gets the ball straight back, and that's hit Koch very high. They managed to keep the ball going. Koch again doing the sweeping up at position 6 in defense. 2 in the block, ball goes off the block and out of play, so Turkey very patient building through that rally. Took them 3 or 4 efforts to finally get the ball on the floor, but the important thing is that they did. Big Grass just getting tooled off the right hand. This is much better. I say it's much better. Koch this time rolling the ball halfway up the net band. It's a very humid hall here in Porto. It means that the float serve is very effective. The ball is doing an awful lot off the serve, very hard to receive. Hogue finishing, putting an end to that point, and Canada are back all square. It seems that throughout this whole match, that really, every time that Turkey have edged in front, Canada have come straight back. More float serves causing issues. A little bit out of system, out of sync from Josh Kuhn, but actually he does well to get a swing on that and smuggle the ball through Canadian customs. Inside hand, not very disciplined from Jansen van Doorn. And just where previously Gokosh failed, Josh Kuhn rolls the ball into position 3 on the penetrating setter. Setter moves out the way and there's no one to pass it. Deliberate tactic from Turkey to utilise that dolly dropper of a jump serve into the middle of the court. Preceding serve is too long, so teams are still trading here, but Canada have all the momentum. Perrin defending high. Turkey, for the first time in this game, go to the technical timeout. In front, they lead 8-6. Maybe, after a slow start, attacks like that from Harali, teaming up with Kayak through the middle, can cause Canada some issues, but they must pass the ball in. Canada really opting for this punchy, flat, fast float serve in a humid hall. It's been enough to cause Turkey lots of issues. But they're growing, they're receiving a bit higher up the court, they're receiving overhand, and they're starting to get the pass in. Consistency is going to be key, though. Remember, they had set point in the first set. Hogue goes off the block and brings Canada back to 1. Again, they've been pretty consistent, Canada, in the service receive. Not always in that idealistic position, but the ball's always got enough height on it, and it gives Sanders a chance to spread the ball around in offense. With a brutal serve, they've gone back to a spin serve. Out of system, it's a good set from the libero, but should be a Canadian point. Cover is good from Canada. Perrin on the outside with the tip. 3 on the floor for Turkey, but no one can keep the ball alive because Perrin is just in fine form. Brutal, big bully on the outside for Canada today. It's done well from the left, the right. Just a little bit of a pause in play due to the 3 Turkish players colliding on the floor. The heat in the hall is very hot, very humid. Almost complete replay from the previous serve. Gokosh getting caught so high in the receive. Service pressure from Hogue is good. Turkey scrambling everywhere, trying to score a point here. Canada should score their 3rd in a row. Ball's gone long. Is there a touch is the question. Perrin gets frustrated with the net and almost pulls it down. Point goes to Turkey. That, from Guncourt, was exceptional reactions to be able to turn and twist and keep the ball alive. Josh Kuhn man in your picture who finished the ball from the backcourt. How deep can Turkey dig here? Rudy Verhoff. Through position 2. Established himself as one of the main men out there today. More service pressure. Burak Gunkor, as effective as he has been at the net, has received a lot of service pressure. Interesting tactics from Hogue, because he's going really for the snake's head. He knows that the Turkish wing spiker is on the front court and he's the main man. So if you can put him under pressure with the serve, it's going to affect his rhythm and his timing in offense. Better. Joshkin flies through the 10. Takes a touch off Perrin and the ball disappears out the back of the court. Growing Turkey. There's no question that they're getting better throughout this set. The question is how long can they keep at this level? Vigras again, not for the first time we've seen him run that short behind play. Moving the block around a little bit, he goes off the block, and happy days, a man in your picture, Glenn Hogue. Actually coaches in Turkey for Arcus. But now, looks like he's going to beat them. Perrin. How many times have we seen the Turkish block compromised by not finishing, not forming, and Canada, with the power, the physicality that they possess, are going to go off the block all day long. Frustration for Mustafa Koç. That much fairer in here. Teams are trading much more one-on-one on the outside. Turkey should be favourites, but not with Rudy Verhoff in this form. Goes after the ball and he grabs it. Big celebrations as he makes his way off as well. Roofed. Turkey have to time out because from a dominant position, Canada have snatched the lead straight back off of them. Interesting to see Sanders now float serving again. We saw his jump serve was very effective in that second set, but he chooses to go with his jump float again. Potentially because of the humidity in the hall, the float serve is very effective. Gunkor kills that point. Hogue can only go to floor, his weight's backwards in his boots and can't keep the ball alive. Sanders with a great set on the full, but equally as impressive from Kayak with his chase off the side of court. Perrin from position 2. Surely Turkey are going to take this one, and they do. Gunkor is an athlete. He's dynamic, he's high, he's aggressive. Kayak's defense was outrageously good. No block. Vigras is already committed to going to the outside. Gunkor made that look easy. Question is, can he back it up from the baseline? Turkey, they need some confidence. He stands down as well. No jump serve from Gunkor from what I think is the first time in this game. Zanini looks like he's about to lose his temper. credit to Yezabildak, the libero. It's a strong serve from Perrin, that he does well in the pass. It allows Kayak to run the game. Calm before the storm here in Porto. This one's about to get rowdy, I think, if Turkey can keep their base level high. Foot fault potentially. Yes, it is a foot fault on the pipe attack. Foot's not allowed to cross the white line if you're attacking from the backcourt. Verhoff has been spared in this third set after really demoralising Turkey in the second. Can't really remember him having too much to do throughout this set, but what he has done, he's kept his level very high and done well, killing the ball, making some blocks as well. That's another block from Canada. Gunkel can only roll the ball to position 6. Should be a point, and it is. Janssen van Doorn putting the ball away. Technical timeout. Canada look like, at this moment in time, they're going to run away with this one 3-0. Turkey, consistency is key for them. Janssen van Doorn turns that one back between 6 and 1. Yezabildak caught sleeping. Yezabildak looks like a worried man. As we said earlier, it's a lonely place for a libero when you're struggling to track the ball off the serve, struggling to give your setter all 3 options. When a libero is struggling to pass, he has found his rhythm within this third set, but if the pass starts to go, the court starts to feel bigger and bigger. Vigras, who's been very effective through the middle, serving again. Guncourt been the target multiple times for this Canadian side. Point goes Turkey's way. Toy comes back in. Joshkin makes way, so no surprise there. Setter comes out, Kayak as well. Yenipazar be the man coming in. So it's just a double substitution to keep 3 blockers on the front row for Turkey. Yenipazar with the serve. See if this blocking substitution pays off. There is a touch off the block, and it does slow the game down enough for the libero to get a touch. And then Toy converts in offense as well. Good substitution that from Manuel Zazzini. Again, the middleman, Janssen van Doorn, struggling for timing to get out on the outside and form his block. No struggles for Nicholas Hogue, though. We've seen him go off the block. We've seen him command the ball to the sideline. Seen him hit angle, we've seen him hit line. It's been an impressive game for Hogue. He scored 18 points last week when Canada lost to Finland 3-2 in what was their only loss of the World League campaign. Presence for Canada. Somehow they've kept the ball alive there, Turkey. Phenomenal stuff for Turkey, and they go again. Now a chance for them to win the point. Unbelievable persistence from Turkey, but there's a net touch. First referee and second referee disagree, so the point does go Turkey's way. Guncourt is a very happy man about that as well. They fought hard for that, didn't they, Turkey? Look at that, the pancake. from the middleman, keeping the ball alive, and Guncourt probably just stating that the ball hit the floor before he ran underneath the net. So as long as the ball hits the floor before there is a net touch or any interference with play, that's fine. Here we go, Turkey are lighting up here in Porto, and they need to. But Hogue has an answer for just about everything. Their serving's getting better, their defense is strong, Turkey. They're asking more questions of this Canadian side, of what we've seen for large parts of this game. Zanini's brain is probably working overtime, trying to find a way to mastermind a comeback here. Pipe attacks will work. Zanini is going crazy here on the sideline to the second referee, suggesting there's a net touch. There's a net touch from something. Potentially the ball. Regardless, Canada, for all Turkey's efforts, are still 2 in front here. Hogue has had a remarkable stage of this game, serving strong, earning kills on the front court as well. Turkey are running out of chances. Their play's improving. Zanini has to take a timeout. Too many errors in offense as of recent. It's costing this Turkish team. Fascinating scenes. Not much communication from the coach. But there's a very, very calm Glenn Hogue, just maybe still building everything from the Canadian camp. The messages coming from the coaching team was very much that they're in this competition to build for the Olympics. Yes, they're here to win it, but yes, their bigger vision is to really get a big result in Rio. It looks like they can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, though. Look at that, only 1 point from 6 for Turkey, more passing problems. He hits it off the body very well there, Guncourt. Fades that ball back. His approach was very straight, but his arm works very well to guide the ball on the angle regardless. Hogue comes out, and Winters comes in. Verhoff takes Canada 1 step closer to a gold medal match between Portugal or the Netherlands tomorrow. Some record to win 5 out of 8 games, 3-0. It looks like it's going to happen again. Always going backward with the overhand receive. All at sea here, Turkey, and all of their efforts earlier on in this set looks like it's wasted. Perrin again finds the sharpest of angles with that spike. All of that hard work, they were serving well, they were digging balls, and then they have just well and truly taken their foot off the gas. Canada, though, as consistent as ever. There's another overpass. This is very sloppy from Turkey. They're a team, their body language sums everything up as Canada are still celebrating. Substitution, Kayak, Josh Cook come back in. Yenepasar and Toy make way. As much as the substitution worked for a short period of this game, Canada have run away with it much, due to some phenomenal serving as well. Stay alive for another moment. No celebrations, all very quiet. Turkey know that their dreams of winning gold in Group 2 are more or less gone. Ulas Kayak needs a miracle from the back line, a left-hander. They need to find multiple aces, defense and blocks to stay alive. Hell, pressure is on Canada here. The outlet is Verhoff, but the reactions from Josh Cook are good, but there's some flirting with the net going on from Canada, and that's through Graham Vierkas. Timeout called from Canada, and why not? They've got 2 left in the tank. And I think that Glenn Hoag just knows that proceedings here have got a little bit sloppy, and Canada have just dropped their level.
Transition on him. Okay, what we're going to do is one guy's going to block him line, the other guy's going to block diagonal. We're going to try to make him get here. We need to stop this guy. And we need to be disciplined. Hands over, watch your hands. Okay? And we need to watch the roll, Rudy. Okay,
Nice from Hoag, saying that they're going to give the spiker the seam. The middle blocker's going to take the angle. The blocker at position 2 is going to take the line, and they're going to leave a gap in the block, which I imagine the 6-man in defense will cover in the middle to try and make a dig. Let's see if it works. Their service receive anyway, so they need to focus on their pass first, which is a little bit out of town. Perrin is blocked as well. Turkey are catching Canada napping here. They're sleeping. This is not good enough. They've really let their standard drop here in the closing stages of this game, and that's probably not good enough for this team. Intriguing. Kayak serving, float serve again, causing all sorts of danger in this hot hole. More joy for Turkey, and all of a sudden you can just see that the body language is lifted from this Turkish outfit. It's an eye injury against Gunkor. Another timeout from Canada, potentially this time, as you see, a bit of a heavy fall from the number 4. Looks like he's going to run it off though. This time from Canada, it'll be interesting to see if Glenn Hoag is focusing more on his own game instead of stopping the opposition. The message of the last team talk, all about how to stop the opposition in defense, but they need to find a side out here. Cameron Ban, the libero, needs to find some rhythm. Gunkor looks like he's a little bit better. Zanini, well, he's a little bit more animated than he was 5 minutes ago when he thought that his team's chances in this one had vanished. After a big run of points for Canada, Turkey have hit a little bit of a golden run of their own. 22-23. So 4 in a row, I think, from Turkey. Ulas Kayak in this jump float is causing issues. Better passing. They should surely find a side out here, but Perrin is shut down again. This is phenomenal. Turkey, from absolutely nowhere, have gone on a golden streak and won 5 in a row. Perrin, the danger man, has been shut down. Now, what do Canada do? Zanini is all of a sudden, well, look at that, 4 in a row for Turkey. The danger man has been shut down. The pass from Canada is struggling, and from underdogs, they've just possibly turned into favourites. But if Canada side out here and make a point, they're back in control. This point is huge in the context of this game. No middle. Perrin again the target, more blocks from Turkey. They're living and dying by the sword here, the Turkish team. Someone needs to find the floor. Finally, Canada get off of the rotation and they bring up their first match points. Multiple opportunities there for Turkey, though. Stephen Marshall, who has been also spared throughout this game, having come back from rest last week. First match point for Canada. Turkey, and there you go. Canada book their place in the Group 2 finals. Turkey, spirited, didn't give up. They had a big run of points at the end of that set, but Canada, like we've seen so many times throughout this game alone, every time Turkey tried to stamp some authority, Canada came back. Perrin, well, he hit a little bit of a purple patch, but that block off the outside hand, guiding the ball straight back down into court, is good enough to put Canada's place in the World League Group 2 final. Turkey struggled to get going until the final stages. They had their chances in the first set where they had set point, but since then, it was all Canada. 26-24, 25-17, and 25-23. As we said before, spirited from Turkey, but consistency was key. Celebrations for Canada. Turkey will play for bronze. The young Tyler Sanders distributed the ball very, very well, orchestrated the game nicely for Canada. Ban, again, seemed to pass better when the service pressure went through the roof. Some stats of that final set, equal in attacks, more points gained for Canada by Turkish errors. And again, more blocks from Canada. We can't ignore that stat that in every set, Canada had 4, 5, 6 blocks. The pressure they put on the Turkish offense was key to their victory. They found their service pressure through the second set, struggled for consistency in the first, but when Turkey struggled to pass, there were 3 Canadian blockers waiting for them on every occasion. Canada booked their place in the finals. Turkey will be playing for bronze. Nicholas, that's some performance.
We got the win. That's the most important part. But I don't think we played great volleyball today. I think we're going to need to step it up for tomorrow and for the upcoming summer, obviously for the games in Rio. And yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously a building block, a building period this for the Olympic Games in 3 or 4 weeks' time, and that is a chance to work on things.
Yeah, obviously we don't have Gavin. We're trying with Rudy. We're trying different things. So obviously we're going to try and find the right rhythm for the Olympics, and today was a good win. Obviously we didn't play our best, but we're working towards that.
Awesome, good luck for the finals and all the best.
Thank you very much.
So there you have it. Canada win 3-0. They make a habit of winning 3-0 in this World League. That's the 6th time that they've beaten their opposition in straight sets. Not so happy with the performance, but we'll have to see how they get on in the final tomorrow, where they play either Portugal or the Netherlands. But from us, from Porto, it's goodbye for now.